Hi guys, welcome to another episode of mrlopezclasses.com. This is our diesel engine course. This is the chapter 6, the episode number 2, and today we are going to talk about the timing position. And once again, I am going to do the procedure for both engines, for inboard gasoline engines and inboard diesel. Okay, right now I am going to start to explain the meaning of timing and what is the meaning of the advance the timing and retard the timing. Timing. The timing of the camshaft can be advanced to produce better low-end torque, or the timing can be retarded to produce better high-end torque. I'm going to explain right now what is the meaning of that situation. Before of that, let me refresh the marks. The marks for the timing. We are going to use for reference marks on the timing cover, like the marks that you have on the screen right now. Marks on the harmonic balancer. In some diesel engines, we have marks on the housing where the flywheel is located. But it's not common. But some engines have marks on the flywheel. In general, the marks are on the timing cover and on the harmonic balancer. Other important thing is this. The timing in the new electronic engines is controlled for two sensors, the camshaft position sensor and the crankshaft position sensor. We are going to talk later, and we are going to talk also in the gasoline book about those sensors, camshaft and crankshaft position sensor. Both sensors work together, and both sensors send the information to the computer in order to identify where is the position of the piston number 1 in that moment. Where is located the piston number 1 in order to start the sequence of explosions. The sequence of explosions in the cylinders, one per one, according with the firing order. This is other important and other critical element is the firing order. What is the meaning of the firing order? Is basically the moment of the detonation of the explosion in each piston. What is the order? Is 1, 6, 3, 4, 2, 1, or 6, 2, yeah, depending of the designer, the firing order is different, and depending of the angle where the cramping is located in the crankshaft. Okay, this is very, very important. The firing order is normally the firing order is located on the block of the engine or on the intake manifold on the engine. Is part of the casting of the block, and this is for the rest of the life the order of that engine. Of course, if the engine use the crankshaft recommended by the manufacturer and the camshaft. In other words, camshaft and crankshaft work together, and the position of the cam and the crank are important in order to calculate how much fuel and in what moment should be sent that fuel. This is the function of the computer in electronic engines. Or this is the function of the mechanical fuel injection pump in diesel engines with mechanical fuel injection system. Yeah, the mechanical fuel injection pump is like a computer, but it's a mechanical computer. According with the pressure and according with the RPMs, the mechanical fuel injection pump send the fuel per each cylinder. I'm going to explain in the chapter dedicated to fuel injection pumps what happened with the mechanical fuel injection pump inside and how the mechanical fuel injection pump works. Okay, in this video, I am going to explain the procedure to put the engine on time. I am going to explain quickly right now the procedure to put the gasoline engine on time. Of course, this is a quick explanation because I am going to explain again in the book of gasoline with more details. And after that, I am going to explain the procedure to put a diesel engine on time. And I prepared two examples for you. One example with the gears connected with timing chain for diesel, and other with the gears in contact gear with gear. That's the most common. And I prepared both scenarios, and I am going to explain in details how to put the engines on time and how to remove the fuel injection pump in order to send the fuel injection pump to the machine shop to be repaired. Okay, for that reason, right now, before I start with the videos that I prepare for yours, I want to explain to you the concept of advance or retard. Let me tell to you something. Suppose that I have this is our engine, and the engine is rotating. Our engine is rotating clockwise. It's rotating clockwise. Okay, and in this moment the piston is going up. This is the compression stroke. This is the compression stroke. And of course, in compression, it's supposed that both valves are closed. Okay, the piston is going up with both valves closed. What do you think, in what moment should be introduced the fuel? I am talking about a diesel engine. The piston is going up with air inside of the cylinder, and the piston is compressing the air. But in what moment should be introduced the fuel? A little before the piston reach the top of the center, exactly at the end, or a little after? What do you think is better, in your opinion? A little before, used in the moment that the piston reach the top of the center, or used after? Before you respond, I want that you think in this. In the moment of the explosion, especially in diesel engines, the power of the detonation is a big detonation. The piston goes down with high force and high speed, and immediately the piston reaches the bottom, start again on top with high momentum. With high momentum. When the piston is going up, it's coming up at high speed with too much force. According with that, what do you think? You introduce the fuel a little before, on top, or a little after? The majority of the people respond a little after. A little after is okay, but what is the consequence? If you produce the explosion a little after the piston passes the top of the center, you can overspeed the engine and you can destroy the engine. For that reason, the injection of fuel is a little before the piston reaches the top of the center, in order to control the acceleration of the engine. If you introduce the fuel a little after, you overspeed the engine, and after that is impossible to stop the engine. You understand? Okay. For that reason, in the majority of engines, gas and diesel, the explosion is produced a little before the piston reaches the top of the center. A little before is you advance the timing, because you introduce the fuel a little before, or you spark the mixture a little before. You advance. When you ignite after the top of the center, you retard. the ignition. It's clear? Once again, the piston is going up, and before the piston reaches the top dead center, I introduce the fuel. I advance the timing. Yeah. The piston is going up, reach the top, pass a little, and in that moment I introduce the fuel. I retard the injection of fuel. What is better, retard or advance? It's better advance. Why? Because when you advance, you control the speed of the engine. If you retard, you inject the fuel too late, you overspeed the engine, and you can destroy the engine. Oh, Mr. Lopez, in what scenarios, in what cases is good idea produce the explosion after? In other words, retard the ignition. In what scenarios is good retard? It's good in some altitudes, and it's good in race engines, in high performance engines, where the pilot have control about that. But in your car, no, because you can destroy your car. In your boat, less, because you can introduce a lot of vibration and you destroy the hull. For that reason, the majority of the diesel engines, the timing is advanced, normally 4 degrees, 6 degrees, 8 degrees, in between 4 and 8 degrees before the piston reaches top dead center, according with the manufacturer specification. Check the manual of your engine and verify what is the timing recommended for the manufacturer. Oh, 6 degrees before. All right. I am going to explain today how you put your engine 6 degrees before, or 4 or 8. In gasoline is around in between 12 and 16 degrees before top dead center. It's a little more. But both of them is before, not after. Once again, after is in a specific situation of altitude and in race cars, in race boats. But in regular operation, no. In regular operation, you produce the explosion a little before. In other words, you advance. When you ignite before, you advance. When you ignite after, you retard. When you ignite before, you produce low end torque. When you ignite after, you produce high end torque, but it's dangerous. For that reason, in the timing marks of the majority of the engines is a big range of marks before and a little amount of marks after. Right now, I am going to show to you in the video that I prepared for yours that situation. Okay? All right? Keeping in mind that important information, right now we are going to start with the process of the timing procedure for a gasoline engine inboard. We are going to do the example of the Merck Cruiser inboard VA, and we are going to do for the diesel a couple of examples with Perkins and Cummins 4 cylinders, one of the engines with the timing chain, and the other one gear with gear. Both of them with a rotary mechanical fuel injection pump. Because in electronic fuel injection pump, you don't need to put the fuel injection pump on time. It's basically with the computer, and I'm going to explain later in other chapter that situation. Okay, my friends, right now we are going to start with the video. In this moment, I have a top view of the heads in order to indicate that one is forward. Those are 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the nomenclature for the cylinders. And now I have the distributor. Where is installed the distributor? The distributor is installed in that hole, in the intake manifold. Look, intake in one side of the head and exhaust. Intake, the carburetor, intake, 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 exhaust manifold in both sides of the engine. Okay, the distributor have one gear that engage with the gear of the camshaft that you have on the screen. That gear engage with the gear of the camshaft and enter with a seal, with a gasket over there. The gasket is important in order to avoid leaks. And this is the bracket to keep the distributor on place. This is an important bracket to keep the distributor on place. We are going to lose the bracket in order to move the distributor and advance or retard the timing. Okay? In the bottom of the distributor, we have one. Okay, this is the coil. The coil is part of the distributor. We are going to explain later. Okay, this is the gear in the base of the distributor, and in the bottom we have a slot. That slot engage with other important element, the oil pump. The oil pump have a groove on the drive on the shaft, and those grooves enter. You can adjust the drive of the oil pump in order to introduce properly the distributor and organize the position of the rotor of the distributor internally. You can move it. Exactly. This is the rotor. And the rotor, the copper of the rotor, is rotating 360 degrees and pass the current to each cylinder in the distributor cap. Okay? And the rotor is rotating because the rotor is connected with the gear on the camshaft, and in the bottom is moving the oil pump. For that reason, you need to move the oil pump until the rotor, if everything is at zero position with piston number 1 on top the center, the rotor should be pointed with the cylinder number 1 when you introduce the distributor. And now I put the cap and I am going to verify what cable is in front of the rotor. Let me check. Okay, enter over there. And right now this is the cable that should be connected with the position number 1 according with the firing order, position 1. And the next one is number A. Okay, this is number A, should be located here according with the firing order. And the next one should be number 4. Okay, number 4 over there. Number 4. And the next one should be number 3. This one should be number 3. I make a mistake over there. I put in 5. Sorry. Okay. Should be 3. And the next one should be number 6. And the next one number 5. But I connect them properly in number 3. Okay. And the next one should be number 7. And the next one should be number 2. And the middle one, in the middle of the distributor, exactly, and the middle one should be connected with the coil. In gasoline engines, I am going to explain that connection and this wiring in details. All right, this is the distributor, and right now the engine is on time, and now I can start the engine because everything is okay. I am going to use the timing light to adjust the advance or retard. This is an stroboscopic light. It's connected to the battery, directly to the battery, to the positive and the negative. And the other end of this lamp is connected to the spark plug number 1 in order to indicate the moment that the spark received the power. And the light send the light. And I am going to send the light. This is the harmonic balancer with the mark, the 0 mark, in front of the mark in the timing cover. Because in this moment, the piston number 1 is in top dead center, everything is in 0 position, the mark is aligned. And right now, I am going to advance and retard. Advance is in the bottom. Look, retard, 0, and advance, 0. Okay. Okay, I prepare in an example in my Jeep. I am going to show to you the procedure. Unfortunately, in my Jeep, at the distributor is fixed. It's not possible advance or retard, but I am going to show to you what is the zero position with the stroboscopic light. I connect the light is working. I connect to the battery positive and negative, and connected to the cable number 1. And right now I am going to point it the timing light exactly, and I am going to check what is the mark on 0. The car in this moment is in idle. In this moment it is located at number 4. Okay, at 4 degrees before top dead center is the idle position for this engine. In the course of gasoline, I am going to explain with more details that position. This is diesel. But let me explain something about the diesel installation that we are going to do. In this moment, I am going to explain to you the timing position for diesel engines. I hope you enjoyed the previous explanation about the gasoline. This is very simple, and we are going to repeat that example in the class of gasoline, slow and with more details. But it's exactly like I explained before. Okay, now we are going to do the timing position for a diesel engine. Okay, we are going to start with the same. In this particular moment, we have on the screen the harmonic balancer, and we have the mark on the timing cover. Because I bring the piston number 1 to top the center at the end of the compression stroke. Remember, be careful. You can bring the piston at the end of compression stroke or at the end of exhaust. You need to bring the piston at the end of compression. When both valves are closed and both rocker arms are free. You remember in the previous video? Okay. I bring that engine to top dead center with piston number 1 in top dead center and both valves closed. In other words, at the end of compression. And right now, the pulley, the mark on the pulley is aligned with the mark on the timing cover. And I am going to remove carefully in this moment the pulley, because I want to remove the timing cover. All right, this is the process. I remove the pulley. This is a special bolt. Okay, in this moment, be careful with the seal. This is the front seal of the engine, and you need to verify that you don't have a dents on the harmonic balancer. And this is the bolt. We are going to use the bolt to turn it the crankshaft with your hand. Okay, and right now we are going to remove the timing cover carefully. In this particular engine, the coolant pump is part of the timing cover. The coolant pump enters over there in the block and is part of the timing cover. All right, we are going to check the marks. This gear, the gear that you have, this is the fuel injection pump gear, and this is the mark according with the manual. And this is the camshaft, aligned with the crankshaft according with the manual. And the piston number 1 is in top dead center. Yeah. Camshaft and crankshaft are aligned according with the manual. This is for Lehman. And the mark of the fuel injection pump is at 0 position. You see the mark? It's a perfect alignment. In this moment, the engine is at 0 position. And I can remove the fuel injection pump easily because the engine is at 0 position. This is the moment that you can remove the fuel injection pump to send to the machine shop in order to calibrate the pump. Be careful, be careful. In this moment, never touch the gear. If you try to move the gear is too hard. For that reason, I recommend put a blue tape, cover the gear, mark the model of the engine, the serial number of the engine before you send the fuel injection pump. I recommend send the fuel injection pump with the injectors at the same time in order to calibrate injectors and fuel injection pump at the same time. I'm going to explain later in the chapter of the fuel injection system that situation. Yeah, this is the moment. And right now, in the next part of the episode, I'm going to explain other tips when you remove the fuel injection pump. Okay, it's clear? It's clear the procedure to check the timing on a diesel engine with timing chain. The most important part is you have the service manual. Okay, if you have the service manual, you can. If not, it's impossible. You have the picture of the timing position of the gears. All right. My recommendation is remove carefully the timing cover, move with your hand and the socket, the crankshaft, and try to bring the piston number one in top dead center at the end of the compression. In that moment, if everything is okay, the marks should be aligned according with the picture on the manual. Like this example, the marks are aligned according with the pictures on the manual. And right now, if you check the fuel injection pump, the mark on the fuel injection pump should be at 0 position. That's the moment to remove the fuel injection pump and send the fuel injection pump to the machine shop. And this is exactly the moment to put in back the fuel injection pump again. In other words, when you receive the fuel injection pump from the machine shop, the engine should be at 0 position. Or if you want to install a new fuel injection pump, all the fuel injection pumps, new ones, they came with a calibrated at 0 position. You introduce in that position, in that moment, and the marks should be aligned. It's not complicated. It's only you need be organized, you need be clean, and organize the table with a cardboard and mark all the elements that you remove. Use Ziplocs, plastic bags, in order to put the balls in a special bags. When you receive the new part, you have the balls separated. Be careful, be organized, be clean. All right, right now we are going to do the same procedure with other engine, diesel engine, but the gears are, the contact is gear with gear, no with timing chain. And this is exactly the video that we are going to check right now. Okay, now I am going to explain again the procedure in a diesel engine with the gears in contact gear with gear. Remember that the majority of the diesel engines, the timing position is normally 4 degrees before top dead center, depending on the manufacturer. Always check the information in the manual according with the manufacturer specification. All right, we are going to do exactly the same process with this engine, exactly the same procedure with the second diesel engine that I prepared for you. All right, timing diesel engine with mechanical. Okay, look at the crankshaft aligned with the fuel injection pump. This is the crazy gear, the idle gear, and those marks, camshaft marks, those are the marks, fuel injection pump marks, and crankshaft, and the piston in top dead center, the piston in top dead center, and all the marks are completely aligned. Fuel injection pump, crazy gear, crankshaft, and camshaft. In the bottom there are other crazy, and the oil pump, the gear of those gears are not necessarily aligned. Okay, this is the mark of 0 position, and the top mark is the 6 degrees before. Okay, in this moment it's in 0, and this is 6 degrees before. This is the mark where you should let the fuel injection pump align it in order to start the engine and run the engine appropriately. In that moment, as everything is aligned and the fuel injection pump was rotated a little 6 degrees before, because this is the recommendation. If I check in the window of the fuel injection pump, if I check on the window, I found it that the mark, in this moment is in 6 degrees before top dead center, and you see the mark in the center of the window is moved a little up of the corner. Those are the 6 degrees that the engine is advanced. This is 0, and the top is 6. Okay, that's the 0, but in this moment is moved at 6 degrees. Okay, this is the indication that is properly aligned the fuel injection pump. That's the window, and the mark on the corner should be 0, but it's moved a little up in order to advance the timing and locate the fuel injection pump exactly in the moment recommended by the manufacturer. This is the procedure to remove. Before you remove the fuel injection pump, okay, remove the fuel lines at the injectors. Immediately you separate the fuel lines, ABYC recommendation. Cover the injector with caps, plastic caps, and cover the fuel lines in order to avoid intrusion of humidity, ABYC question. We are going to do exactly the same for all the cylinders. All the cylinders exactly the same. And right now, if everything is in zero position, you remove the gear of the fuel injection pump, and right now you are ready to remove the bolts carefully and separate the fuel injection pump with the lines properly covered and send to the matching shop in order to be repaired the fuel injection pump. This is the procedure. It's not complicated. Once again, if you are organized, if you have the manual, you don't have any problem. You don't have any inconvenience. Okay, what is the summary of those videos that I have until this point? You need to be organized. You need the service manual always. You need the service manual always in order to do the reparations according with the manufacturer specification. And if you are organized, if you are clean, if you have the appropriate tools, repair an engine is too simple. Only common sense, too much enthusiasm, good tools, and good luck. Thank you.